I will talk about brand for about 5 minutes. The main reason for that is because I don't think it's gonna make you more money.
I'm here with my boy Marcus. We're gonna be breaking down Alex Hormozi's take on branding, sharing what we think as somebody who has built and sold an agency, having spent over $50 million in ads. We're gonna be reviewing what he thinks about the subject. So with that being said, let's dive into the video.
I was originally asked to talk about branding on social media. I will talk about brand for about 5 minutes. And the main reason for that is because I don't think it's gonna make you more money. So I'm gonna be hijacking the other 55 minutes of my talk to more shit that I think will make you money than talking about social media branding. And that may sound conflicting with how I am doing things.
Yeah, so this is hilarious because as somebody that has this massive personal brand as he does, the fact that he is saying that it doesn't make money or that it's not the thing to make money is just wrong. He's contradicting himself. And not just that, but if you've seen my Ryan Stewman video, Ryan Stewman has built a $20 million business off of purely organic soap. Couriers come at the worst time, but let's continue.
It's more about context. So everyone here, who here owns a brick and mortar gym? Can I just get like a show of hands? Wonderful. Okay, here's my quick thing on brand and then I'll get to all the stuff I'm gonna draw. So big picture, brand isn't actually a thing. It's an association we make between things that we know and things that people don't know, which is usually our company. And so if you think about a brand like a bouquet of flowers, right? Got these little flowers. These are my flowers. A bouquet of flowers, thank you. You're gonna love the rest of the presentation. A bouquet of flowers isn't actually a thing. It's many things put together and then we put it in our heads as an idea as one. But it's not actually anything. Because if you spill it on the floor, it's not a bouquet anymore, right? And so when we brand, think of a brand as a bouquet of flowers, but it's your bouquet of flowers. And what you're putting inside of that bouquet are the individual intangible ideas that you want to associate together with the thing that people don't know about, which is usually your company, right? And so if I were to say some things about my brand, you'd probably know that I have the best calves ever, right? So that would be something that's like associated with my brand. There'd probably be some things like dessert. That's something that's associated with my brand. Now, those are like fun little doodads, but hopefully some of the things that you really associate with my brand are giving first, providing value, being patient, doing the boring work, whatever, doing blah, 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 right? ... And so there are these intangible things that we associate. And the thing is that like, if I were standing on stage next to, let's say, a guy who owns a brothel and a drug dealer, you would associate my brand with that. And so you think differently, like the bouquet would look different. And the reason brand and reputation is so hard to maintain is because so many people want to rub their shit on yours. Because as soon as yours gets better, they want to associate theirs with yours, which is the right move for them to make, but it gets harder and harder for you to get them to not do that because they continue to dilute and not really dilute because you don't actually dilute anything. You just make more associations that aren't with what you want to do, all right? So let me give you an idea here. So let's say,
So this is interesting, the point that he's making, which is branding is about having a one-way sales conversation, meaning that as we talk about and try to reinforce what he's referring to as the bouquet of flowers, what we want to do is we just want to continue to reinforce that message, almost like beating people over the head with it until they get it, until they know what it is that you're about, because people drastically underestimate the amount of effort it takes to market something. For example, I used to think that whenever I would publish a post on social media that, oh yeah, you know, my network gets it. I'm not going to publish a similar post or I'm not going to talk about that thing anymore. It's done. But that was actually a huge mistake because not only did I quickly run out of things to talk about, but I also wasn't continuously reinforcing my brand and what it is that I'm about and what it is that I represent to the audience, which made it very difficult to folks to have a concise idea about what our last agency did. So what he's referring to here is that as you build more of a brand, people are going to want to associate more with you as you have increased status. And as a result of that, it muddies the water and it muddies the message of what it is that you want to be able to promote or interject into your brand, because you have these outside puzzle pieces coming in that are not a part of the original puzzle. Imagine trying to assemble a puzzle, but there's 3 puzzles inside the box. It's going to make it walk.
Okay. here's my bouquet. Then I've got this sad flower. So this is a sad face flower. There's my sad flower. If I handed my wife this bouquet, all of the roses are perfect, and there's this one that's just wilted and dead. It looks a lot different, right? The bouquet, the brand, the perception of it massively shifts even with one fucked up flower. And so that's why creating a brand is much more about cultivating deliberately the associations you want to make with the thing you have that people don't know, with the things that your ideal audience likes, that you want them to like too. Does that make sense? I'm seeing some head nods. And so if you have...
So that's a great point. I agree with that, where you want to have the continued reinforcement of one message. Ideally, like he's talking about a few different things here, right? In his bouquet of flowers, there's a few different ideas or there's a few different things. The more concise you make that message, the more focused on one specific component or variable, the better it is. Because what he's talking about is brand dilution. And by interjecting these outside puzzle pieces or a shitty flower in his case. However, the critical takeaway here is that the less flowers there are in the bouquet, the more that one flower is going to stand out. So there's this one Instagram, he blew up recently. And the reason why he blew up is he starts off every video with ring. Like that's his thing. That's the thing that he does. And now everybody remembers him as the ring guy. So the more that you talk about just one specific idea, less is more when it comes to branding. And so if we are want to reinforce our brand with being the one thing that Hormozi talks about, what our audience likes, then that's going to allow us to stand out in the market and be known for that one thing as opposed to being known for several things. Makes us a lot less memorable.
Have a clean gym, people will start to associate your gym with the intangible idea of being clean, right? If you have really friendly people, they'll start associating smiley faces, recognizing their name when they walk in the door with the brand, which in the beginning, they don't know what it is. The name is meaningless to them. But we create the meaning by associating with the things that we know that they like. And that is the process of branding done at scale. And you do it over and over and over and over. Right now, we put out 250 pieces of content a week. And in 6 months, we'll probably be at 1,000 a week in terms of what we're going to be putting out. And it's just an absolutely brutal, repetitive, violent process to get as many people as possible to remember one or two things about you. Does that make sense? Now, let me tell you what doesn't probably make sense for you. You probably can't do that, which is why I talked to Kale before I got up here. The brand that you're going to build in a local community is going to be based on the quality of your product and your service. Your reputation is going to be based on that. And so if you feel like you want to strengthen your brand, strengthen the product. You don't need to make a video on Instagram every day talking about fat and carbs. Because real talk, you're not going to be better, most likely, than the hottest chick on planet Earth talking about the same thing in terms of reach. And the thing is, and here's the double-edged sword. Let's say you are amazing at it. If you do that, what's going to happen is that you're going to get more demand on your personal brand and online, et cetera, people who don't live close to you, that will be a greater business opportunity for you than a single local location. And so then you're going to have a choice. And many of you probably have done this. Well, I've got some online clients, I've got some in-person clients, and I'm totally spread thin. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, right? Real talk, anyone? Does this resonate? Right, okay. And so that's why it's really about focusing on the one opportunity that's going to give you the highest ROI, which is going to be the remainder of the time that I'm going to be talking today. All right. And so I was asked to talk about social media and branding. I think that for most local businesses, the brand is going to be about the reputation. The reputation is going to be built on consistently meeting expectations. Now, the thing is we always talk about over-delivering, and I've even talked about over-delivering.
So I get what he's saying, where he is breaking this down as far as a prioritization. And it's worth taking this with a grain of salt because he's talking to a very specific audience. He's talking to audience of gym owners. Now, he is a bit of an extreme example for putting out 250 pieces of content a week. Now, reverse engineering that to the local business owner. If you are starting out a business, or if you are in a business and your network doesn't necessarily know what it is that you do, then it's important for you to put out branded messaging or messaging as a whole to your audience, your network, so that they can start to become aware. Because if we look at a standard sales funnel, bear with me while I pull that up actually. Here. So a lot of brand driven content is focused on the top of the funnel, is just building awareness of the product or service that you're offering. And so if there's no market awareness, then, and you don't have any clients, then it's very important to prioritize the awareness campaign. But what he's saying, and the assumption he's making, is that you already have a product or service that people know about, you have people coming in which case I agree. If you have existing clients, then you're going to want to build your reputation based on that. You're going to want to build your reputation based on the quality of your service delivery. And so in that is what he's referring to as the brand opportunity, which he has a point. And once that is dialed in, then it's important to just funnel more traffic, get more top of funnel awareness, get more people to associate in your target audience the things that they like with your brand.